don't have a bridge. So nice, the county did a nice job, but it's time for us to be the squeaky wheel, not just me. I'm not a bitch. I'm not there to say that you're not doing a good job, Bert. I told you last week, you're doing a good job, you need help. Let's all get in there and help. So I put out those posters.
I have no problem with that, and I'm not saying you're a bitch either. I'm just saying, you know, you talk to as many people as I have, and they're not here, are they?
I don't know, who did we want here that's not here?
Who did you miss? You didn't miss anybody.
Excuse me?
Which is good. But then again, I don't see any bulldozers and stuff coming from any of those
Well, I don't know,
departments.
because last Friday you said to me, please calm down, because Monday the bulldozers will be in the street.
Because I was told that
So
by DEP.
on Sunday, when I realized it wasn't going to be happening, I put out those flyers for people to call their elected representatives, because that's what we're supposed to do, is go on high to try to find out.
With that.
Okay.
What are you going off on me for? I don't have a problem with that. I mean, if there's a little bit of a guilty conscience here, that's yours, not mine. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and I called up every son of a bitch that I could find to get them up here.
I'm supposed to feel guilty? I haven't worked in 2.5 weeks. My office was flooded. I don't have a friggin' bridge. When Sue Spear asked you yesterday if anybody in this town is in dire needs, you said no. When I asked her what that means, she said if they can't get fire or ambulance or heating oil. That's me, and that's Mrs. Davis. That's Carol.
Okay, so what did she do about it?
I was a fireman for 20 years. Don't you dare talk to me about a guilty conscience. Saturday the offices are closed. No, Saturday the offices are closed. We're under siege here. I told you last week, Olive Day, eating out in the park. We're under siege here, and it's business as usual.
Can I give you an update on the city as of late this afternoon?
Yes.
Unfortunately, or actually, fortunately for some of the business in Boyceville, Bert had a emergency CWC meeting today where he procured, I believe, $1 million for the businesses in Boyceville to help them. So that's one of the things that I guess he was doing, okay? So while he was gone, I made some phone calls in his absence. I talked to Mike Hinchy.
Mike Hine.
No, I talked to Mike Hinchy. I talked to Mike Hine too. I talked to Mike Hine's assistant. I talked to Bonasek's assistant. But the people I'm giving you the update on is Mike Hinchy, who is the regional foreman now for the DEP. His latest words were that they were going to be responsible for cleaning from the twin bridges, what I still call the twin bridges, the new bridge, to their property line, which is back up, not all the way to where the road was starting to wash out. They are going to hire D.A. Collins to go from there to the Bushkill Bridge, okay? I said, when are you going to start it, Mike? He didn't know. I talked to a guy named George Collins, who's an engineer in the city of New York. George told us 2 or 3 days ago that they'd have people in here right away doing it. When I talked to George today, he said, well, I just got thrown into this because it's an emergency, it's not my department. So he said there's a guy, Dan Davis, whose number they wouldn't give me, who's the head of a stream group. He said he was under the impression they were going to go in and start last week. He said, obviously I was wrong. He said, now they're talking about engineering studies. I said, well, you know, obviously we don't have time for an engineering study. So again, I talked to Mike Hinchy. Mike Hinchy told me that at 1 o'clock tomorrow, they're having a meeting about who's going to do what in the stream, when they're going to start engineering studies, and we conveyed the message to Mike that, you know, this isn't rocket science. Get some chainsaws, some cables, some equipment, pull the trees out. You can't do anything with a channel until you get the trees out of the way. Am I correct, Chad? Marty? I mean, these guys, this is their business. Okay? That's where we stand with the city of New York, and this has been the problem Bert has had all along. You get information, and then it doesn't happen. The right hand doesn't seem to know what the left hand is doing. Okay? So, I mean, I may sound like I'm defending Bert, and goddamn it, I am.
So does that mean they're not going to take the gravel out?
Pardon me?
They're not going to take the gravel out? They're just going to take the trees out?
the first thing they have to do is they have to get the trees out. Before they can do anything with the gravel, they gotta get the
Very
trees out.
understandable.
Now, we have an engineer, Henry Lamont, who for the last 2 days have been walking the Bushkill. I talked to him at 4:15 this afternoon. I picked him up by Eddie Cahill's house and gave him a ride back down. And he said, and from there, this was 4:15 and he was headed to the Maltby. He was gonna walk the Maltby stream after that. His assessment so far of just the Bushkill is 1,000 trees or more that have to come out of the Bushkill before they can even start fooling around with gravel bars. Now that's a lot of work. As everybody in this room knows, it takes money to hire guys like Marty and Chad. Other guys, they've got expenses, they have to buy diesel fuel, if they have payments on their equipment, that's none of their business. But they can't go out there and work and wait 7 or 8 months for money, okay? Now, there's what's called an INF fund, or an INF money. It's an immediate needs fund. It's a federal government fund, but the state of New York has to request it. The state of New York has not requested this money. This is why it's not available at this time. And supposedly, the reason they have not requested it, I've heard a couple different scenarios, but the most logical one I've heard is that they're not in session.
Excuse me, sir, I'd like to just say that I was...
Can I please finish and tell you what we found out, and then you're welcome to beat up anybody you want.
Okay.
But let us know, let you know what we found out today, okay? This is the latest that we found out. I called Mike Hine after that. I talked to Mike, and I asked Mike if he would reach out to the governor, see if 2 things could happen. They could push the governor to get this INF money released from the feds, and also if the governor could push the DEC to extend the permit waiver in the creek for another 180 days. That was of today. In government, things don't happen any faster than that. We have not heard back from Mike yet today, but I'm sure that Bert will be talking to him tomorrow. And that's what we set as of 4:15 this afternoon.
The other thing that's changed is that DEC, I know him as Willie, but he's a director of Region 3. He's having 2 of his understudies there right below him coming to my office at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. They're going to tell us what DEC can do and what they can't do and what they would like to do or whatever. But they're coming at 9 o'clock. Probably, we've heard this 100 times, and I hope it's something new. But we're on the list, people are looking, people are talking, and everything is slow, and there's nobody in this room, and I apologize because I'm starting to wear out. That the frustration on all this is just unbearable. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous. I mean, one group tells you one thing, you go over here to the same, I don't want to mention names of organizations, but they're for the same group, and they tell you just the opposite. Within a half an hour, you know, you've been talking to them, and it's just unreal.
Now, as far as, Mark, I know you're concerned about bridges, I know Chad is.
No, we know, we're taking care of our own, of ourselves. We're not here to ask the town to help us, right, Chad? I mean,
But I'd like to explain to other people who have heard a lot of rumors and innuendos floating around. I'd like them to know what's going on, okay? What happens is, according to Sean, and I don't recall his last name to be honest with you, it was with FEMA and Bel Air. He told me personally on 2 different occasions that there is no money for private bridges. We know there's a little conflict. We're not even going to publicly talk about it because let's leave a sleeping dog lie. Am I correct, Chad? Okay. Okay. What there is if you don't have the money to fix the bridge, there are SBA loans. This is my understanding. And that these SBA loans are coming through very quickly. So if I had a private bridge going across that creek right now, I'd goddamn well be getting an SBA